Hello and welcome to this video. My name's David Thorne. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a read-only access user for a MySQL server using a MariaDB. It doesn't really matter whether it's MariaDB or MySQL server, it's basically the same thing. Okay, so what have we got here? As you can see, we've got a core database, information schema, MySQL performance and system, whatever. And the tables, we've got countries, regions, states, sub-regions. That's within inside of core. And you can see the users I've got David, root, MariaDB system. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two users. We're going to create a read-only access user for core, and we're going to actually create a read-write access for core as well. But the read-only user is going to be available on any host, and the read-write user is only going to be available on localhost. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. So first thing we want to do is just show you that I am the root user here. So, and we're just going to say create user, and the first one I'm going to create is the read-only user. So we're going to call this one core, and we're going to say that this is going to be a wildcard and identified by, and we're just going to say password, all right, because it's read-only, it can't write anything, and we're allowing it to read anything. So now that we've done that, we want to be able to give the correct privileges to this one user, right? And the privileges that we are going to get is grant select, and that's it. Okay, on, and we're just going to do it on core, so the core database and all tables beneath within that as well. 2, and we're just going to define here once again core at wildcard, and then that's it. We're going to flush privileges. Right now, we know that this user isn't actually, this user has just been created on the system, so it shouldn't really need to do this because we know the user's not logged in. Okay, so now we've flushed the privileges. Now let's go ahead and create the read-write user this time, and we're going to call this core underscore RW for read-write, and we're going to say this is only on localhost, and we're going to say that it's a password, and it's going to be strong password, or password strong. All right, it's just to reiterate that this should be really a Unix socket user, but we're going to use a strong password. Okay, and now we're going to say grants. We're going to basically say grant all on core and star to core read write and localhost. Right, so this means that this one user, this core underscore RW at localhost, can do everything on the core database. That's it. Can't do anything else on anything else. So let's do this, and we'll do flush privileges once again, even though that user can't be logged on. So now let's just show you what's in one of the tables, and we'll just say countries. Select everything, name from countries, and as you can see, it's basically every country in the world in there, minus a couple of, actually I think I deleted them by mistake. And we've also got regions, for example, and you see Africa, Americas, Asia, Europe, Oceania, and so on. So now let's log out of this one server, and let's use core user first of all, and say password, and the password was password, and we can now then say select user, and we know that we are the user as well. And just a top tip is, rather than saying user core and p, we can just say after this we want to use the core database. So, and we put in password, and now you can see that we are using the core database by default. And if we just say select database here, you can see that we've already pre-selected our database, so it just saves us a little bit of time. So now let's just say show tables, and as you can see, we can say select name from countries, and let's just say limit 1, and we get the first entry from the table. Okay, so now let's try and be a little bit devious with our core user and try and delete some stuff. So what were we going to try and delete? Let's try and just delete this record. So let's just select it first of all. Select ID and name from countries where ID is equal to 2. And so let's now say delete from countries where ID is equal to 2. And as you can see here, we get error, delete command denied to core at localhost for table core countries. This is because this one user doesn't have rewrite privileges. It just has, sorry, doesn't have delete privileges. They just have select privileges. So that we can just say show grants, and we can see that here that we just have get grant select on core, and that's it. So let's now log out of this one user, and this time let's log in as core underscore RW and password strong, and this time we can say select ID name from countries where ID is equal to 2, and we'll say delete from countries where ID is equal to 2. And now we can see that we get it, and if we run this again, it's gone. So this is basically how you create a read-write user, right? But if we exit out of this and exit out of this Docker container that I've got, and now we just show you that I've got this countries DB, and we're going to say docker execute it, and we're going to say countries. Actually, we can just do this for short, and we're going to say user is then core, and the host is going to be then this, and the port is then 3306, and the password, and we're going to say core and the password is password. You can see here now we still get the same, we can still access it again, right? And we'll say select ID and name from countries where ID is equal to 3, and we get this. So now let's try and say delete from countries where ID is equal to 3. We still get exactly the same thing, and if we now try and access this one server, right, from outside with the read-write user as well, and we say password strong, we see access denied for core RW at this one IP address. That's because we said it can only access it at localhost, which is what we want. We want the core user to only be able to write data if they're actually on that one machine. And in this situation, it could be like an API or something. It's on that one server that wants to write directly to it. Or it might be like PHP FEM that wants to write to it. There's a whole bunch of different examples as why, but like your mobile device or your website that or whatever it may be only wants to be able to have read access. It can't have any write access. So that's basically it. It doesn't get really much more difficult than that, to be honest with you. And this was just a quick overview of how you would do this. So if you do have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you don't have any questions and you thought this was thorough or something or whatever, then please let me know. A little bit of feedback as well. And if you don't like it, please tell me why not. Other than that, there probably will be a video on the screen right now, which is either recommended by me or by YouTube. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video, and a big thanks. Ciao, ciao, and bye-bye.